Hello, welcome to this MagiCAD for Revit webinar. Today we're going to look at the supports and hangers module, which is a standalone separate module outside the normal vent piping and electrical modules that most currently in use. So this is a separate module with a separate license, which can be purchased and used independently of the vent piping and electrical modules should you wish to. Okay, so what we're going to do today is just have a very quick, brief overview of the module. It's quite a straightforward module to use, so we'll have a look at creating some hangers and supports and some of the other functions that we can use with this module to extract the information that we might wish to use, whether it's fabrication drawings or bill of materials or things like that. So firstly, I'm going to show you how the module works and how we actually install supports and hangers based on the current Revit objects that exist within the project. Just so you know, this module will also work with the Revit Fab MEP components. So it doesn't matter if it's a Revit RFA family or a Fab MEP part. The module is still designed to work with both. So there should be no restriction there, depending on what stage of the project you're working on. So what we need to do is install some hangers. If you choose this over here, you can install any support and hanger from all these categories, and then you can filter it in the dialog box next. Or if you know exactly what support and hanger type you wish to insert, then you can just click on the exact one here and it'll filter it at this stage for you. So all these tools are just almost filters of the types of support and hangers that you wish to insert into your project. So I want to install, let's say, some hangers into this location here. All I'll do, let's just go with a big generic unfiltered one. So install support and hangers. Next thing you know, I need to just click on the objects that I wish to be included within that support hanger. So click on that duct, that cable tray, maybe this duct as well. Now when I've finished that, just click the finish button, and now we go to the dialog box, and you can see here that we've got this sort of floating in space. So what we might need to do is have like a multi-layer hanger, something like this. As I was saying before, these things do help filter. So if you know you're going to do a multi-layer hanger, then it's probably worth selecting the multi-layer hanger in advance. So there we have a multi-layer hanger now. You can see this 3D image here that you can rotate and spin around. This isn't just a generic. This is actually the situation from the model that's been determined by the selection. So should you select different objects, then obviously this 3D image will change. You can also see you can put a 2D image there as well. If you just want to look at it in sort of cross section there and revert back to that. You can turn dimensions on and off and expand the image as well. So below there you will now get some options of how we want to produce this hanger. So you'll have these base points on this tab here. What it's doing, it automatically reading the level of the underside of the slab, which is obviously determining it by the locality of the nearby architectural structural elements. So this time it's found the slab. You can also change that to be user defined and start putting your own hosts in there if you want to, but I'm going to use the automatic one now. You can also change all these dimensions on here, so you can change the spacings of the hangers, the offsets, the heights, thing like that. Overall width of the hanger, so that's all editable in here. You can see. So if I want to change this dimension here from 100 to 200 on the left hand side, press OK. You can see that now expands that gap there, and you can do the same on the right hand side should I wish to do that as well. There you go. And then once you're happy with the dimensions, if you then want to select the sort of specification of the steelwork, you can choose from, it's a UK steelwork data, so you can choose from that, and that's the cross arm. So you can see there it's quite a narrow one there for this ductwork. And then this suspender rod, you could be depending on the type of object you've chosen. In this case, mine it's like an I-beam, so that specification is related to that I-beam there. You can see if you choose a different I-beam, then obviously the spec will change. So if I'm happy with that, then I just press OK, and then the software then just creates a Revit family based on that. And then you can see there we've now got the hanger in place. If I now go to a 3D view, let's go to this 3D view of this. You can see now that we've got the hanger in place. This is the one that we just created there. You can see it's highlighted in blue, so you can see what's happened. It's obviously fixed it to the slab above. Ignore the fact it's smashing through the pipes. That's my fairly sloppy modelling, but I've only chosen these two ducts and this cable tray to be included, so now you can see how that hanger works. And then there's one I've done earlier as well, which is a previous hanger that I've created there. So it's quite straightforward to produce these supports and hangers, as you can see. So I'll just close that down. So as you can see, if we went through each of these in turn, I haven't got time to do that today, but each of these in turn would just filter into a new type of hanger. So for example, I'll show you one here, single rod hanger, just like your typical sort of drop rod with a sort of wraparound on it. So if I click on this duct here, let's say the circular duct, it will now filter it just for single rod. And you can see it's got the wrap with the drop rod. You can change the spec of the suspender again there if you wanted to. If you're happy with it, just press OK, and it will base point it again to the slab. And you can see, I've just gone to a 3D view of this, you can see what's happening here. There we go. You can see that we've now got this one here. The one I've done earlier is a little bit more complicated. It's a bit of a, sort of a manufacturer type hanger there, but this one's like a basic drop rod one which wraps around the duct there. So it's quite straightforward. So I think I'm sure you get the idea of how that's meant to work. So the other ones we've got here is multi-column. That's when you have multiple supports which sit either side of your services. We've got support on wall. Maybe I can show you that very quickly. I'll just show you that. I'll just click this duct, let's say, and then just press OK. And this time you should get a support on the wall. So you can see it just bolts it to the wall like that. And you get different types again. You can get a hanger where it's, or a support rather, where it's actually connected to the wall with a diagonal strut as well. So you can see, and again you can change all the different types of beams there like that. Press OK, and then you can change the spec again of the cross arm to whatever you want. Obviously that's huge, maybe not something so big. And then and the strut as well, you can change the spec of that. I mean, obviously I've gone a bit extreme there with that, you can see. But if you change these, then just a normal C-beam, then you can see you can choose a different spec again. Maybe something slightly more sensible. So when you get the specification that you want for the steel work, once you press OK, it'll just create the hanger just like everything else before it. So you'll see, excuse me, you'll see now it's got the support on the wall. So if I just quickly go into that 3D view, you'll see. You see how that works there. You can see the cross member there on that beam there. So that's that one. Vertical, very quickly, got a vertical duct there. And you can also do support onto vertical, so just select the duct and then press finish. You can choose where the base point, what wall you wish as well, but I'm just going to just do it automatically very quickly. You can see it's like a wraparound sort of rod around that duct. Press OK, and you can see that it attaches that to the wall there with that wraparound. You can see there. Okay, so that's how to install the supports and hangers. There's one thing left that I haven't shown yet, which is showing integrated hangers. So what you can do, you can build hangers on top of hangers. So, for instance, in this case here, we've got a hanger already pre-made, but now I have these two ducts that are sitting below it that have been introduced into the project later. So I may wish to support those off that hanger that already exists, rather than supporting this straight from the slab again. So should I want to do that, I'll press integrated hanger. This time choose the hanger that I want to use to be the integrated hanger, and then choose the objects like these two ducts below it, and then now press finish. And now what we'll do, it will create a new hanger type like this, like it's got some drop rods onto a channel beam there. You can see like a unistrut type thing, and then I can then choose, maybe if you want to change different dimensions if you so wish of that hanger. So you can see how that works there. The offsets from above as well if you want to choose. So you've got a bit of flexibility on how you want to do that. Choose a spec, but I'll stick with the default, press OK, and then now that should create that integrated support and hanger sort of below that one. So we'll go back into that 3D view again to have a quick look at that. Let's see what it's done. So you can see now it's integrated that hanger into the other hanger there. So we've got a hanger off a hanger there, which is pretty much how you do things on site normally when you got suspended elements below each other. So the last thing I wanted to touch on was if I just go back into hanger again, just do a single layer hanger for instance. Let's do one here just for this thing. I've shown you a lot of generic stuff there. We do also have some manufacturers, so for Hilti, and some manufacturers won't have this type of system available in their catalogue. That's why it might be blank, but these, you can go into manufacturers and then you can see that these are actually products that they provide, and the products will be built in their way with their sort of subpart spec of the steel, everything like that, as per their catalogue. So depending on what sort of hanger type you have, you can use manufacturer or generic. So you have got certain standards there as well to adhere to, and this one is sort of other types of hanger that you can get through. It's a UK type generic, and then just overall just generic. So you've got quite a few options there of how you wish to produce your hangers. Okay, the next thing, let's just say you've got this hanger here. I may wish to, let's delete this one here. Actually, I'll use that one. I want to create a copy of it, then that's just copy the hanger, and you just click on that, and then you just click a new position or new objects that you wish to include on it, and press finish. It'll just copy the hanger down in the same manner. That's quite straightforward. If you wish to do an array, because you want to just create a sequence of hangers at certain spacings, and let's say I wanted to do 750 spacings and do like 4 of them, then I just click on that hanger and it'll create an array. There you can see I've got an array now of 4 or 5 in total, 4 extra ones at that separation spacing of 750 sensors as I requested. And if you want to modify the hanger after the event, if you click on modify, you can click on a hanger and it'll go into the dialog box. And if you want to change anything about it, you know, like the heights, dimensions, type of hanger itself, then you can just go in here, modify it, choose a new setting like 150, and then then 150, and then press OK, and it will change the hanger. You can see that's now changed just that one instance. So if you want to change anything after the event, it's not permanent. You can always just do that, modify, and add that later. One thing that's interesting to note is that if you've had or selected the hanger to be linked to the objects, which you normally do to create them, in settings here you can see that it has update automatically. You can turn it on and off. So if I now nudge, some like cable tray down like that, what you'll find is the hangers will move with that cable tray as well automatically. But you can see it's might be quite heavy on resource. You can see they've all moved now with the settings of the spacings remembered there. It's quite resource heavy, it may be. Sometimes you've got like thousands of hangers attached to all different objects, so that's why we're giving you the option to turn that off. And if you do turn that off and then you want to just update hangers periodically as you go through the project, then that's when you do update supporting hangers. If you turn that off, click that, it'll achieve the same as what result of this I've done before. So or you can do it automatically, and the hangers will move and adjust as per the elements that are linked to those. And then last couple of things, if you go into the this function here, this detail supporting hangers, what this does, I'm not going to show you now because it can take quite a long time. What it does, it can upgrade the hangers to like a very high level of detail with like every nut and bolt shown, should you wish to do that. It will take quite a long time because it needs to update every single family of hangers in the project to an uprated detail level. So I won't show that now. I've got time. That's what that does. The next one is bill of materials. If you click on that, you can choose to do bill of materials for different levels. Current view, selected objects. You can do a detail report, summary, general. How you wish to do that. I think you can also edit the content of that report as well, so you get full flexibility of how that is created. But very quickly, I'll just use the default current view, press OK, and what we should get is a bill of materials, and you can see here that we've got all this different information. So if you want to expand that out, you can see the vertical support there, cross arm, and there's all my different types of hanger, and there's my that sort of more detailed one. And you can see it gives every kind of every single kind of detail you might wish, nut and bolt, everything really, even washer, so you can get a full bill of materials for everything. It'll tell you what system it's on if you wish to, or which system the the elements that are used on that hanger are containing. And you can press export as well. You can export that to an Excel sheet or a Word document if you wish to do that. So that's bill of materials, so you can do full sort of fabrication order, I guess, from that. You can also do a DXF export, and this will export some technical drawings of the hangers in the project. So again, you can edit exactly how you wish this to be exported. I'll just do the current view again. You can choose whether you want side, isometric, etc. Press OK, and then I can choose a location to export this to. So I'm going to export it into this folder here, and press OK. Then it'll create my DXF files, and then in here there's my drawing index. So just double click on that, you can see almost like a contents page of all the different. There's integrated hangers, vertical and drop rod hangers. So every single hanger type with a reference is displayed on there. And then if I just go into the next, let's go into the actual drawing itself, you can see that we've got there's the integrated hanger, there's the isometric we wanted off it, and there's the individual components that make up that supporting hanger in there as well, with the key showing you the part spec and the number of part length, etc., etc. So you can build up all your supports and hangers fabrication details from that tool fairly easily. I think that brings us to the end of today's webinar. I hope that's been useful. It's a very quick overview of the module. If you'd like any more information regarding the module at all, then you can contact us on the usual channels and look on the website, etc. And if you're in the UK, where I'm based, you can contact us via the details on the screen now, and we can perform a demonstration and give you a free trial, of course, for this module. So if you like what you see, then just please get in touch. So thank you very much for your time today, and I'll see you on the next webinar. Thank you.